Cleopatra's life was a tale of ambition, beauty, and power. Born in 69 BC, in the heart of Egypt, she was a princess in a family that ruled Egypt with a mix of Greek and Egyptian heritage. Her father, Ptolemy XII, ruled with an iron fist, and when he passed away, young Cleopatra ascended to the throne, sharing it with her younger brother, Ptolemy XIII. Cleopatra became queen at the age of 18, but Ptolemy XIII, who was younger, was given the title of king. In reality, he was often controlled by his advisors, who sought to undermine Cleopatra's authority and prevent her from ruling independently. Cleopatra had a strong vision of reforming Egypt and pursuing a more independent and powerful role for herself, which put her in conflict with the factions that supported her brother's claim to the throne. They eventually forced her into exile, and she was removed from the palace and stripped of her power. In 48 BCE, Cleopatra sought to return to power with the help of Julius Caesar, who had arrived in Egypt in pursuit of Pompey. She saw an opportunity to regain her throne by aligning herself with Caesar, the most powerful man in the Roman world. Cleopatra, with her clever mind and undeniable charm, found a way to win Caesar's favor. She famously smuggled herself into his palace, wrapped in a carpet, to personally plead for his support. In 48 BCE, Cleopatra sought to return to power with the help of Julius Caesar, who had arrived in Egypt in pursuit of Pompey. She saw an opportunity to regain her throne by aligning herself with Caesar. She returned to Egypt in a dramatic battle for the throne, determined to rule again. This battle was called the Battle of the Nile, after her brother's defeat in the Battle of Nile, Cleo and Caesar. Together, they formed a powerful alliance, and soon, Cleopatra was back on the throne, stronger than ever. But Cleopatra's journey didn't stop there. With Caesar by her side, Egypt flourished, and the world watched as the queen became not only a ruler, but a symbol of strength. Their bond was more than just political, it was passionate. Cleopatra even had a child with Caesar, Caesarion, who she hoped would carry on his father's legacy. At this point in time, Cleo and Caesar were living in Rome together, and Cleopatra was his mistress. Sadly, Julius Caesar was killed on March 15th, 44 BCE, by a group of Roman senators. They were worried that he was becoming too powerful and might try to become a king. The senators attacked him during a meeting, stabbing him 23 times. When Caesar was assassinated, Cleopatra's world was turned upside down. But she was no stranger to danger. This time, she turned to another Roman leader, Mark Antony. The two shared a bond that was as fierce as it was romantic, fighting together for power against their common rivals. Their love story, filled with triumph and tragedy, captivated the world. You may wonder how Cleo and Mark Antony met. Antony was in the east, managing Roman territories and securing his influence after Caesar's death. Cleopatra, seeking Roman support to strengthen her position in Egypt, saw an opportunity to form an alliance with Antony. In 41 BCE, she traveled to meet him in Tarsus, in present-day Turkey. The meeting between Cleopatra and Antony is famous for its dramatic flair. Cleopatra sailed into Tarsus on a luxurious barge dressed in royal attire, presenting herself as a goddess-like figure. The meeting was both political and romantic, with Cleopatra using her charm and intelligence to captivate Antony. She sought to win his support to help secure her rule in Egypt and to regain control of certain territories that had been lost to Rome. Cleo already had a child with Caesar and had 3 other children with Mark Antony. The children's names were Alexander Helios, a son born in 40 BCE, Ptolemy Philadelphus, a second son also born in 40 BCE, Cleopatra Selene Sek, their daughter, later married to King Juba II of Mauritania. In 34 BCE, after several years of successful collaboration, Antony and Cleopatra staged a grand ceremonial event in Alexandria, known as the Donations of Alexandria, where Antony declared Cleopatra the Queen of Kings and granted her and her children vast territories. This was an attempt to assert Cleopatra and Antony's growing power, but it was also seen as a challenge to Rome, particularly to Octavian, who viewed the alliance as a direct threat to Roman authority. In summary, Cleopatra's alliance with Mark Antony was formed through a combination of political necessity and personal chemistry. It helped Cleopatra maintain her power in Egypt and gave Antony strategic support in his battles with Octavian. However, the alliance ultimately led to conflict with Rome, culminating in their defeat at the Battle of Actium and the end of their rule. Following the Roman naval victory at the Battle of Actium, Mark Antony and Cleopatra fled to Alexandria, Egypt. Octavian pursued them, besieging the city. Faced with imminent defeat, Antony committed suicide. To avoid capture and humiliation by Octavian, Cleopatra also took her own life, reportedly by allowing herself to be bitten by an asp, a venomous snake revered in Egyptian culture. Cleopatra's death brought an end to the Ptolemaic dynasty and marked Egypt's transition into a Roman province. Cleopatra, the last pharaoh of Egypt, wasn't your typical queen. Forget dusty tombs and sphinx riddles. This woman was a political mastermind, a linguist, and a seductress. She charmed Roman emperors, ignited wars, and built alliances, all while navigating a world dominated by men. Her reign was a whirlwind of romance, intrigue, and ultimately, tragedy. Cleopatra wasn't just a queen. She was a legend, a symbol of power and ambition that continues to fascinate us today. Thank you for watching History Unlocked. I hope you enjoyed this video. For more videos like this, make sure to click that subscribe button. Bye now.